I welcome you to today's episode of Chronicles of a Nigerian Woman. My name is Fagbeja, and today I'll be reading Enitan's story. I am an only child, and the circumstances surrounding my birth are the thrust of my story today. This story, however, is more about my mother than about me, but my reality has been defined by her actions so much that I believe that it needs to be shared. When my mom was in her first year at the university, her closest friend was the child of one of the younger professors who lived in the staff quarters with his family. My mom used to visit them often and stay over in their house most of the time, even though she had a room in one of the hostels. It was a family of 3 girls, so my mom was just like one of them. She and her friend were so close and were always together. So you can imagine the shock when my mom was found to be pregnant at the age of 18. But the worst part of the situation was who she was pregnant for. The professor, her friend's father. It was the highest betrayal she could give to her friend, and more especially to her friend's mother, who had opened up her home. My grandparents were devastated and thoroughly embarrassed by her actions. They tried to prevail on my mom to have an abortion, but she refused. And being that they were quite wealthy, they sent her abroad to stay until she had the baby, me. She named me Enitan because of the story surrounding my birth. When she returned, she had to start over again in another university while my grandmother looked after me. I was born into a lot of strife and hatred from my half-siblings, but that was not the end of the story. All through the time my mom was in university, I was told that she never went into another relationship with any man. My grandparents worried that she would never marry and tried to match her with some of their friends' sons, but she was never interested in anybody. After leaving university, my mom got a job and decided to move out. Imagine the shock everyone felt when she moved in with my father, the professor. He had got a separate apartment and was only waiting for my mom to be ready. They had kept in touch throughout her stay in school, even though she avoided going to the campus where he taught, and he avoided coming to her school as well to avoid gossip. He was in his late 50s when they moved in together. I still stayed with my grandparents and spent some parts of my holiday with my parents. My parents stayed together till my father passed away in his 70s. My mom never ever got pregnant after having me, even though she earnestly wanted to have other children. I grew up always feeling like an outsider from everyone in my family. My grandparents and my uncles, my mom's brothers, loved me in the way that they could love their grandchild and their niece, but I never felt like I fully belonged. My parents always seemed so immersed in each other that they shut out the rest of the world. After my father died, my mom just remained on her own, kind of insulated from the rest of the world. She turned all her energy into her job. She never had any friends that I can remember. I grew up always being in my own world, finding solace in keeping a journal and reading novels. It was after my dad died that my mother told me about my birth story. I was 27 at the time. Later, my grandmother told me more. I have wondered in the last 6 years since I heard what could have been going through my mother's mind all this time. Why did she choose to do what she did? How did she feel about her actions? How was she ever able to face the world and hold her head high? Why did they not take me to live with them? She and I have never been close enough to discuss matters of depth, so I'm not sure I'll ever be able to ask her these questions. We talk once in a while since I now live outside Nigeria. I think the most obvious effect of my background on me is that I have become so used to being on my own that I don't need people around me. I have few friends, none really close, and even at 33, marriage is so far from my mind. I'm not sure if I'll ever be interested. I've been in a few relationships, but I'm not sure I can cope with anyone being in my space. I'm fine with my life as it is, my job mainly, and my dog. I never got into religion, in case you are wondering. I think this is the life for me. Not necessarily because I don't want more, but because I don't know any other way, and I've learned to work with what I have. Please share your thoughts about Enitan's story in the comment section. Remember to hit that subscribe button and to turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of my videos.